Waves crashing on the shorelines of the world possess a universal appeal. Everyone loves to watch them, and for some, the real thrill is in pursuing and catching them. These waves that we see have their origin far from the shore. The result of forces at work in the hidden and secret places of the ocean. In the same way, the greatest waves in church history were birthed in the secret place of prayer, seemingly hidden until thundering ashore. It's been said that you can't catch the perfect wave by sitting on the beach waiting for it. You have to be out there in the water, as prepared as you can be before the wave even arrives. We call the men and women who have mastered this wave riders, and here are a few of their stories. In 1981, Beverly Klein encountered a girl in a crisis pregnancy. When she checked the local phone book for a pregnancy testing clinic, she discovered that the only number listed was a service that was actually terminating pregnancies. Realizing that there was a tremendous unmet need, Beverly simply listed her phone number in the yellow pages under pregnancy testing, and the Ministry of Living Alternatives pushed out from shore.
When I started, I had a donor in Louisiana that said, "We'll give you $300 a month to get started." And I said, "That's great. I can afford to buy the pregnancy test and some of the little materials that I was going to need to hand the young women when they came in." That's how we started. 2-room apartment, a telephone, $300 a month. We were in the big business of ministry.
Today, Living Alternatives has helped thousands of girls successfully navigate the many challenges surrounding an unplanned pregnancy. The ministry Bev pioneered and modeled has now multiplied into 70 centers in 25 states and 7 countries. Countless babies from unplanned pregnancies have been adopted into loving homes. Bev's work has made such an impact that she had been called on to help shape the adoption laws for the state of Texas. The simple steps of obedience years ago positioned Bev and her staff for the wave that they are now riding.
The important thing is that we just keep our eye on the wave maker and the things that he is doing, and then he'll position us correctly where he wants us to be.
Getting to where the Lord needs us to be is not always an easy journey. Sometimes while we're looking for a wave, all we see is desert. So it was for Terry Snow, who trained at YWAM Tyler and then answered the call in 1991 to bring transformation to the city of St. Mark in Haiti.
I mean, it was hard. Everything I'd put my hands to was difficult. It was just, I just didn't see. I took it as far as it could go, and I felt I was at my limits. I'd done everything I could do. But see, that's exactly where God wanted me to get us to, because it's only when we get to the end of ourselves that God can do something. So I stayed. And I didn't stay because I wanted to. I didn't stay because I felt an unction. I didn't stay because God said, "Thus saith the Lord, do not leave Haiti." I stayed because it was the last thing God told me to do.
While circumstances screamed that there was not even a ripple on the horizon, Terry, his family, and his team knew that there was more happening than what they could see.
But it was from that point God began to transform my life, and that transformation began to root into the ministry, and the ministry began to bring transformation to the community. By that rough beginning, by that uncertainty, by that poverty-stricken time we were as a mission, God identified us well amongst the body of Christ and the people of St. Mark, so that they saw us rise from the ashes into what the ministry has become today.
Terry and his ministry have been riding a wave of transformation, including the historic breakthrough event of 2004, when under Terry's leadership, the city of St. Mark was dedicated to the purposes of God, complete with a monument of the 10 Commandments installed in the city square. God has used Terry to bring unity to the churches in his city that has led to reform of the prison and justice system, clean water projects, a community business center, and similar projects. On the YWAM St. Mark campus, hundreds of Haitians have received discipleship training, preparing them to multiply all that Terry has pioneered. Sometimes the wait between the preparation and the arrival of the wave is long. Other times it happens quickly and dramatically. In either scenario, we need to be prepared and ready to go when God calls us through His Spirit.
In the last few years, we've seen an increase in the number of natural disasters around the world. As a result, God's had us develop what we call Mercy Reserves. In effect, it's a reserve unit that's trained to quickly respond to crisis. They've got God's compassion, they train, they know what to do, they go in and they make a vital difference. and boy have we seen the importance of being prepared. For example, in Sri Lanka, after the tsunami in 2004, Mercy Works activated this reserve unit. We sent wave after wave of teams to Sri Lanka. They offered medical assistance, grief counseling, they sent hundreds of kids back to school, provided capital for people's livelihoods, and they cleaned out wells, just cleaned the city. And perhaps the most important thing they did was demonstrated the love of God to people that had not really ever seen that. And so hundreds of Buddhists decided to follow Jesus, forever altering the spiritual landscape of that region. And just being prepared has put us in a position to be able to respond in places like New York City after 9/11, places like Sudan, and most recently Haiti, where Mercy Works doctors and nurses operated on or treated over 20,000 people in just a few months' time. And it's just a privilege to know God and make Him known in places like these.
Under the leadership of Leland and Fran Paris, founders of YWAM Tyler, this campus has been the launching pad for dozens of new YWAM bases and countless other ministries. Over the last 30 years, many thousands of young people have received their missionary training here. In the same way that the stories we've just heard were the result of those who prepared themselves before the wave arrived, today, YWAM Tyler is in an aggressive season of preparation as we look to the future.
The next great wave of missions belongs to those who prepare for it and seize it. As we consider how Christianity has spread around the globe, it has been primarily a westward move, from Jerusalem through Europe and Northern Africa, Great Britain, on to the Americas. Today, Asia is at the forefront of this expansion, as Chinese and Koreans, Mongolians and others are coming to the Lord in great numbers. As this vast new population of believers seeks out missionary training, many of them are coming right here to YWAM Tyler.
Many Koreans want to come here for training. They want to be a better servant of God and to go all over the world, especially China and Asian countries. I believe more Korean and Asian is coming.
At the very same time that the church is growing in Asia and elsewhere, a sleeping giant is being awakened in the existing church. The frontier of world missions is no longer just geographic. Every sphere of society is now being harnessed as a vehicle to reach the world with the gospel.
Right now, the laborers in the harvest field are being multiplied as a massive paradigm shift is expanding the role of missionary to every believer in every sphere of society. The spheres of the family, of the church, education, business, media, arts and entertainment, and government, these are the primary shaping influences of a culture. The destiny of whole nations depends on how well we impart a biblical worldview to each of these areas. YWAM Tyler is called and committed to train and equip a new wave of missionaries to accomplish this.
What exciting times we're living in. To be ready for this exhilarating season, it's imperative that YWAM Tyler update and expand its facility. Built in the 1970s, the campus buildings have served us well. However, the kitchen in particular was designed for just 100 people, and today, up to 400 staff and students are being fed each day.
Having successfully completed Phase 1 of our campus development master plan, YWAM Tyler is moving ahead with Phase 2, the Paris Fellowship Center. This $3.5 million phase will equip us with a new kitchen and dining room, additional classrooms, and an event center. With a capacity to feed up to 800 people per day, this facility will meet our needs not only today, but well into the future as well. Right now, in the midst of a season of global shaking and change, we, the body of Christ, have a window of opportunity that must be responded to.
We can seize the opportunity and be part of the next great wave of missions that will literally change the course of history. Together, we all can be wave riders.